Good evening. Wednesday night here in Eastern Canada. It's 8:01 p.m. and we are joining together this evening for the reading and discussion of Caitanya-caritāmṛta. And I wanted to mention before we get started that we do appreciate everyone participating in the live broadcast, as well as on YouTube, those that are also attending. So we have two audiences that are participating, those that are in the Zoom call, and due to circumstances, as a result of time, some people may not be able to attend at these hours that we've got scheduled, but they do come and attend the classes at their leisure, as Balaram Prabhu does in Australia. We have 3 classes a week, so the attendance can be, at the live session, or it could be at your leisure whenever you feel comfortable to participate in the readings and discussions. The main goal is to hear the philosophy and become fixed up in the understanding that Srila Prabhupada is the bona fide spiritual master of this movement of Krishna consciousness, and is from his teachings, unadulterated teachings, that we present these classes for everyone's benefit everywhere in the world. It's a global effort that we're making, local as well. I know many of you are cultivating people in your particular areas of the earth, and this is also the mission of Srila Prabhupada, to spread Krishna consciousness to every town and village on this earth. Prabhupada Desha, wherever you're born, wherever you're living and surviving, you can bring Krishna consciousness to that area through your own preaching efforts of book distribution, prasadam distribution. And soon we're going to have a card that we'll publish. We'll make it available on online, and you can have the PDF and print it out, and it'll be a card that advertises the free classes that we're giving online for other people to come and participate in at their own leisure. So like that, we're always making an effort to expand what we're doing, because really this material world is a rather destitute place, and it's like a desert. Very, very barren for people that are actually spiritually inclined. There are lots of people that have some basic understanding that God exists, but as far as really delving into the science, it's like there are very few people that are serious. That's just the reality of it all. Even in the ISKCON circles, it's very difficult for them to recruit people. In the Western world, there are very few people joining the mission. Very few. For example, at the Toronto Center, they had to import somebody from India to come and be a pujari recently, because the management said, we have no devotees. Interesting. They've got a very large university south of the temple with over 30,000 students, and they make no effort to cultivate the students at the university. And then they fly someone in from India, and then the person's here. They're already thinking of ways and means to get out of there, go on their way and become a karmi in the society here after they get their immigration opportunity. So like that, even in those circles, very hard. I mean, we're experiencing an expansion of our work, and we do appreciate the participation of all of you in our broadcasts. We have over 100,000, approaching 100,000 views of the classes by people as we continue to build our content. And we are dealing with a very interesting part of Srila Prabhupada's life in bringing Krishna consciousness to the Western world in his diaries, which show his meticulous use of time, because time is the most important asset that we all possess. And how we engage our time will produce certain fruits, whether it's material or spiritual. And out of the 168 hours in the week, we're at this point in time, we're presenting 4.5 hours for everybody's opportunity to get some proper sadhana in the hearing process of our philosophy. And today we're going to look at the diary entries of Srila Prabhupada. I find them quite fascinating. I was looking at them before we came on air and seeing the list of items that he was writing down and following day by day. We're going to go to May 13th, Thursday, May 13th. Is that it? Yeah, there we are. There was a little confusion for me, but I took this section here. They've been taking sections out too. You'll notice as we move forward that some of the sections, because there's nothing written in the book, they just didn't bother to put them in. So this is Thursday, May 13th, 1965. So Prabhupada writes, to call phone number 72219 at 9 a.m. Brajlal de Kanika. So he's giving the address, Ranchor Das, Kanjiswadi, Vitalal Bai, Patel Road, Bombay 4. First floor, appointment, Gurgaon PO. To call phone 74804 Gokharan at 10:30. So he's got two things here, appears, yeah, 2 phone calls. And on Friday, May 14th, to see Janmadas Madhoji at 2 p.m. at Forbes Street, 4344. Kalagluso, Sesson Boulevard. And at 4:30 to 5 on the second floor, he's going to meet P. Parajal Durlabde and company. So 2 appointments that day. So he's quite busy here. He's constantly setting up meetings and presenting his mission to other people. On Saturday the 15th, MORS rupees, MO for rupees 25, money order. Under postal receipt number 3401 DT 15565, Yogashema Post Office to Pandit Sri Krishna Sharma, Delhi. Similar number 3402 to Gochan Goswami in Vrindavan. So money orders. Here we're at Sunday, May 16th. At 9 a.m., so he's every day here is quite busy. At 9 a.m., Dixaji Saith Brajalal at 4:30 at his house, Girgaon. Okay. Monday the 17th and the 18th, no entries. On the 19th and 20th, nothing. Now here we have, there's Sumatra Maharaji, the lady who owns Scindia's steamship company. And she's at a speaking engagement in the early 70s with Srila Prabhupada, the proprietor of the Scindia Steam Navigation Company. She is referred to on the opposite page as Śrīmatī Ben. Srila Prabhupada wrote to her after his arrival in America, and this letter is reproduced in the Reflections chapter on page 86. Also, Srila Prabhupada refers humorously to this 1965 meeting in the conversation on page 83. So we'll get to that later. So on Friday, May 21st, C. Brajalal, 1, 2, Phone Chandra Shekhar. You could see the printing there, so it's good that we can at least read it. 3, C. Dixit. 4, Take Food and Rest. 5, C. Śrīmatī Ben. 6, Dharmasya Katu. 7, Gokul Das. 8, Alfred Publisher Introduction Letter for CD Deshaput. Copy of letter to Sachdevi. Mr. Choksi met in presence of Śrīmatī Ben. Choksi said, as soon as the following things presented, the free pass will be issued. And he wanted the passport, visa, and P form. So Prabhupada here is making preparation for his journey to America, which began in August of 65. On the 27th, Prabhupada purchased a ticket. Okay, here we are. So you can see 25th, 26th, 27th, he's Delhi sleeping reserved on date starting at 8:40 Junta Express. So that's the train, excuse me. Ticket number 89887 23275. And paid rupees 32 rupees. The reservation number is there, 56713/51-17. And on June 9th, do we have that? Yes, we do. So here we have Sunil Rajda post box, Block'em, Photoman letters to friends, things that he's doing. K.C. Raj left this Hindi note was pinned to the diary on June 9th entry. It reads, reddish purple kumkum powder, which is put on the forehead, 5 tolas. 1 tola equals 10 grams. And on Friday, June 11th, rupees 98, NP, 1 photo. Letter from India to Pennsylvania and back. So Butler, Pennsylvania, where after Prabhupada got off the boat, he meant in New York City, he immediately made his way to Butler, Pennsylvania with the Agarwal family. And we'll end this particular section of the reading of the diary, and we'll continue on Saturday morning. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Let's have the chanting of Jaya Radha Madhava, and then the reading and discussion led by His Grace Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu from Twain Harte, California. Glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Kodi Yaśodā-nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yaśodā-nandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Banadhari Yaśodā-nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yaśodā-nandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Muspa-Paramahansa Parivrajaka-Acārya Sthitare-Srismādhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki Jai Nāma-Acārya Śrī Haridas Thakur ki Jai Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Śrī Advaita Gadādhara Śrīvāsādhi Gaur Bhakti-vrinda ki Jai Śrī Rādhā-Krishna Mokh Gopinath Sam Khand Radha Khand Girivardhan ki Jai Vrindavan Dham ki Jai Navadvip Dham ki Jai Ganga Mai की जाए जमुना माई की जाए गुरु द्वारका धाम की जाए स्वामी तो भक्तविंद की जाए ऑल ग्लोरीज टू देयर सिमर ऑल ग्लोरीज टू देयर सिमर थैंक यू वेरी मच
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय O my Lord Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Narayanam namaskrityam Narayanam namaskrityam Naram cheva narottamam Naram cheva narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayat. One should utter the means of conquest, Srimad Bhagavatam, or Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta, after offering respectful obeisances, 1, to the personality of Godhead Narayana, 2, to the Nara-Narayana Rishi, who is the supermost human being, 3, to the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, then 4, to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Welcome everyone to this reading and discussion on Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta. We will be reading from the original, non-adulterated, unedited, the 19th version. As we read a few first, the Adi Lila Chan from text 1822, describing the result and benefit of hearing this great transcendental literature. Jai Jai Sri Caitanya Jai Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Glory to Sri Caitanya and Nityananda. Glory to Advaita-ācārya and glory to the devotees of Sri Gaura, Lord Chaitanya. Text 19. Etina Thakur Gaudiya ke karye cheno yatmasat. Etinera charana vandan tire moranat. These three deities of Vrindavana, Madan Mohan, Govinda, and Gopinatha, have absorbed the heart and soul of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, followers of Lord Chaitanya. I worship their lotus feet, for they are the lords of my heart. Text 19. Grante Rarambe Kari Mangala Charana Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tinera Smarana. In the beginning of this narration, simply by remembering the spiritual master, the devotees of the Lord, and the personality of Godhead, I have invoked their benedictions. Text 21. Tinera smaraniyai vigna vinashana anayasayai nijavanchita purana. Such remembrance destroys all difficulties and very easily enables one to fulfill his own desires. Text 22. Simangala charanai trivida prakar vastu nirdesha shiravada namaskara. The invocation involved three processes: defining the objective, offering benedictions, and offering obeisances. Today we'll be reading from Adi Lila chapter 4, text 79, I believe. All synonyms, translations, and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupāda, Founder-Ācārya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, also known as the Krishna Consciousness Movement. Text 79. Akara swabhava bide braja devigan, kaya vyuda rupa tanra raserakaran. Akar of features, swabhava of natures, bhede with differences, vrajadevi gana the gopis, kaya of her body, vyuha of expansions, rupa having the form, tanra of her, rasera of mellows, karana instrument. The Vrajadevis of diverse bodily features. They are our expansions and are the instruments for expending rasa. Text number 80. Bahu kanta vina nahe rasere ullas, lilar sahaya lagi bahuta prakash, bahu many, kanta lovers, vina without, nahe there is not, rasera of mellow, ullasa exaltation, lilara of pastime, sahaya helper, lagi for the purpose of being, bahuta many, prakasha manifestations. Translation. Without many consorts, there is not such exaltation in rasa. Therefore, there are many manifestations of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī to assist in the Lord's pastimes. Text 81. Tar madhya vrajinana bhava rasa bede, Krishna ke karaya rasa dikalila svade, tar madhya among them, vraje in vraja, nana various, bhava of moods, rasa and of mellows, bhede by differences, Krishna ke Lord Krishna, karaya cause to do, rasa adhika beginning with the rasa dance, lila of the pastimes, asvade tasting. Among them are various groups of consorts in vraja, who have varieties of sentiments and mellows. They help Lord Krishna taste all the sweetness of the rasa dance and other pastimes. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. As already explained, Krishna and Radha are one in two. They are identical. Krishna expends himself in multi-incarnations in plenary portions like the Purushas. Similarly, Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī expends herself in multi-forms such as the goddesses of fortune, the queens and the damsels of Braja. Such expansions from Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī are all her plenary portions. All these womanly forms of Krishna are expansions corresponding to his plenary expansions of Vishnu forms. These expansions have been compared to reflected forms of the original form. There is no difference between the original and reflected forms. The female reflections of Krishna's pleasure potency are as good as Krishna himself. The plenary expansions of Krishna's personality are called Vaibhava Vilas and Vaibhava Prakash, and Radha's expansions are similarly described. The goddesses of fortune are Vaibhava Vilas, and the queens are Vaibhava Prakash of Rādhārāṇī. The plenary expansions of Krishna's personality, the goddesses of fortune are Vaibhava Vilas and are Vaibhava Prakash of Rādhārāṇī. The personal Rani, the damsels are direct expansions of her body. As expansions of her personal form and transcendental disposition, they are agents of different reciprocations of love in the pastimes of Lord Krishna under the supreme direction of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. In the transcendental realm, enjoyment is fully relished in variety. The exuberance of transcendental mellow is increased by the association of a large number of personalities similar to Rādhārāṇī, who are also known as gopis or sakis. The variety of innumerable mistresses is a source of relish for Sri Krishna, and therefore these expansions from Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī are necessary for enhancing the pleasure potency of Sri Krishna. Their transcendental exchanges of love are the super excellent affairs of the pastimes in Vrindavana. By these expansions of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī's personal body, she helps Lord Krishna taste the rasa dance and similar other activities. Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, being the central petal of the Rasa Lila flower, is also known by the names found in the following verses. Text number 82. Govinda Nandini Radha Govinda Mohini Govinda Sarva Sarva Kanta Shiromani Govinda Anandini, who gives pleasure to Govinda, Radha Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, Govinda Mohini, who mystifies Govinda, Govinda Sarvasva, the all in all of Lord Govinda, Sarvakanta, of the Lord's lovers, Shiromani, the crown jewel. Translation: Radha is the one who gives pleasure to Govinda, and she's also the enchantress of Govinda. She's the be-all and end-all of Govinda, and the crest jewel of all his consorts. Text 83. Devi Krishna Mayi Prokta Radhika Paradevata Sarva Lakshmi Mayi Sarva Kanti Sammohini Para, Devi, who shines brilliantly, Krishna Mayi, non-different from Lord Krishna, Prokta, called, Radhika, Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, Paradevata, most worshipable, Lakshmi Mayi, presiding over the goddesses of fortune, Sarva Kantihi, in whom all splendor exists, Sun Mohini, whose character completely bewilders Lord Krishna, Para, the superior energy. Translation: the transcendental goddess Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī is the direct counterpart of Lord Sri Krishna. She is the central figure for all the goddesses of fortune. She possesses all the attractiveness to attract the all-attractive personality of Godhead. She is the primeval internal potency of the Lord. Purport. This text is from the Brihad Gautamiya Tantra. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances. We all offer our respectful obeisances unto our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, who has opened our eyes from the darkness of ignorance with the torchlight of transcendental knowledge. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupāda, who is very dear to Lord Krishna on this earth, having taken shelter at his lotus feet. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Our respectful obeisances are unto you, O spiritual master, servant of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami. You are kindly preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya Deva and delivering the Western countries which are filled with impersonalism and voidism. Bhaktisiddhanta Shishyaya Bhaktivedanta Namine Prasannaya Prashantaya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Let me offer my obeisances unto my Guru Maharaj, who is a disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is always calm and joyful, and who bears the name Bhaktivedanta. Bhagavad Vandanam Khadyam Guru Vandana Purvakam Kshiram Sharkara Yuktam Kadatihi Visheshataha. Worship of the Supreme Lord is naturally very sweet, just like milk is originally sweet. But just as milk becomes sweeter by adding a little sugar, in the same way, worship of the Supreme Lord becomes sweeter by first worshiping the bona fide Guru. Adadana-strinam danteridam yachi punaha punaha Śrīmadurūpa-padam bhoja dhulisyam janma janmani. Clasping a straw between my teeth, I repeatedly beg to attain the dust of the lotus feet of Srimad Rupa Goswami, birth after birth. Amshu bhagavatu smyaham sadadasu asmi sarvata tat kripa pikshako nityam tat prishtashat karumishvam. I am a tiny part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and am always and in every way his eternal servant. As I'm always hoping for his mercy and kindness, I offer myself to his most dear servitor, my spiritual master. Sri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's important to note that in the Gaudiya Sampradaya, acharyas like Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, these are very high, describing the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Now the argument may be sometimes presented, well, these were written, so when and how are we to understand these kind of literatures? Srila Prabhupada one time related a story of how Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada, his Guru Maharaj, went to his father, Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, and requested him permission so he could print the Govinda Lilamrita. The Govinda Lilamrita is one of those confidential literatures which describes the pastimes of Radha and Krishna 24 hours a day. It was composed and compiled by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur went to his father and asked permission to publish it. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur told him, there's two versions of the story. What version? He told him, you come back later, I will tell you. So later on, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta came back to Bhaktivinoda Thakur and requested him, what about that book, Govinda Lilamrita? And Bhaktivinoda Thakur replied, yes, you can print. You can print one copy only. In other words, these kind of confidential literatures were really not meant for public distribution. In 1972, after we had gone for a preaching tour in South India, in Bangalore, Mysore, and Coimbatore, we came back to see Srila Prabhupada. And we explained to him that sometimes we get very good reception. Like in one place, we had gotten like 5,000 or 7,000 people that came to a program. And a couple days later, somebody arranged for a program and only 10 people came. So Prabhupada explained to us, he said, well, first of all, we should not be attached to the result. Krishna explained in the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, just do your duty. Just engage, karmani evadikaraste, maphaleshu kadachana. Do your duty, but don't be attached to the result. He says that his Guru Maharaj used to say that our duty is simply to preach. It doesn't matter how many people come. And if no people come, you can preach to the wall. The wall will hear you. And then Prabhupada went on, he said that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never discussed confidential topics in Jagannath Puri, except with very few of his associates, like Ramananda Roy, Sarup Damodar, and Sikhi Maheti. He never, ever explained confidential topics of Rasa Leela and all of this Gopi talk in public, never. But Prabhupada very mercifully delivered the translation of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where all these confidential topics about Rasa Leela and everything is given. Even in the Caitanya-caritāmṛta, we see later on how Srila Prabhupada gives a list of all the literatures that were compiled by Srila Rupa Goswami. And one of these books is called Radha Krishna Ganodesha Dipika, which is basically literally translated a lamp to explain or see the transcendental associates of Radha and Krishna, which is a very interesting literature considering the purport that Prabhupada gave here about Rādhārāṇī in text number 81, where Prabhupada goes on and explains the plenary expansions of Krishna's personality are called Vaibhava Vilas and Vaibhava Prakash. And Prabhupada says, and Radha's expansions are similarly described. The goddesses of fortune are Vaibhava Vilas, and the queens are Vaibhava Prakash of Rādhārāṇī. So this particular book of Rupa Goswami gives a very long description. It's a couple of all the principal associates of Krishna is covered, their names, all the confidential cowherd boys, all the gopis, Rādhārāṇī, all the different assistants, what they do, and devotees. Then it goes into the second chapter, and so many, all the associates of Krishna, Nanda Maharaj, Yasoda, Krishna's favorite cows, Krishna's favorite deers, say a dog, two dogs, not just one, two dogs. Somebody may say a dog in the spiritual world. Well, where do these people come from? Where do entities come from? Janmadyasya yataha. In this world, everything is a perverted reflection of Krishna. But in the spiritual parrots, favorite deers, favorite cows, there is no impersonalism in Goloka Vrindavan. I remember when I first came to the temple and somebody, Śrīmatī, that exalted soul, and he surrounded with thousands, millions of goddesses of fortune. And I was trying to understand, what is that? Thousands, millions, unlimited goddesses, fortune, and associates. I was stunned. He says, how can that be? And he was very, very kind. He says, we can't speculate on that. It's inconceivable to our little mind, to our condition. Great acharyas, these associates of Lord Chaitanya, these liberated souls, they reveal out of their unlimited spiritual world what is going on there. What are the activities? I was reading from one of the websites called Vani, and put the word Radha, Rādhārāṇī, and there are so many came up from Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada in one place, he does that Achintya Bhava Ye Khalu Natarkena, that you cannot understand this by logic. It's not possible to understand this by argument and logic. This is done by revelation. How to understand the analogies, Radha and Krishna, a person of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's not possible to understand such. How does Krishna expend himself in associates? And it's very interesting because there's some of the color of some of the associates, what they do. It's mind-boggling the level of detail and clarity is given by these great acharyas. And Prabhupada, many process of revelation. There is one lecture, God, and Prabhupada very simply said, if you chant Hare Krishna, it will be revealed to you. But of course, there's always a class of people who want to jump on a trampoline, claim that they're going to understand this very quickly. Trampoline program is not the standard that Prabhupada gave. This is not the standard. This would be like a high school student who has one anatomy class or biology class, and he says, oh, I understand the structure of the brain now. He goes to the hospital and say, I want to perform brain surgery. Well, naturally, they will laugh at him. They will laugh. I had a relative who had to undergo a very complex surgery, very dangerous surgery. And I asked the surgeon pretty boldly, I said, so how many years of training by the time you finish high school till you can perform one of these surgeries? I said, well, in this neck of the wood, it's 14 years. From the time you finish high school, 4 years of some kind of degree, several years of medical school, so many years of residency, so many years of specialty. In other words, even in the material world, to become a surgeon, it takes so much training. What to speak of trying to understand the spiritual world? How to understand these things, just like one time, Srila Prabhupada asked one devotee, he was the GBC in Australia, and he asked Srila Prabhupada, of everything you've taught, what is the most important? And Prabhupada summarized it nicely with a one verse from Shvetashvatara Upanishad, Yasya Deve Parabhaktir Yatha Deve Tata Gurau, Tasyete Caitanya-caritāmṛta Prakashante Mahatmanaha. That for those who have firm faith in the bona fide spiritual master and Krishna, all the imports and meanings of the Vedic literatures are revealed. So a lot of it is based on faith. Other times, Prabhupada says this is based on your sadhana. Become purified. First, understand you're not the body. Become liberated from the bodily conception of life. And gradually, all of these transcendental mysteries will be revealed within the heart. But there's some people that don't accept that process. They want to pull their trampolines out and jump. We've all seen some of those. They will run to Radhakund or run to some other groups in Vrindavan or Navadvip, claiming the shortcut. They want a silver bullet. They want a quick fix understanding. They can try that, but Prabhupada has warned this is not the standard process. Prabhupada has given so much information in his literatures. He has given all necessary information. Of course, if one is an accomplished, experienced Vedic scholar, Sanskrit scholar, Bengali scholar, along with being a devotee, but Prabhupada has translated all these literatures to give us the essence of everything that has been taught by these exalted souls, the six Goswamis, Krishnadas Kaviraj, Srinivas-Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur, Shyamananda Prabhu, Baladev Vidyabhushana, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, his Guru Maharaj, his father Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, all the teachings that they have given, he has given it in simple, clear language, not complicated to understand, not difficult to understand. What is difficult is people don't want to follow the process. And this process can be followed anywhere, anytime by intelligent, I don't know Sanskrit, I'm this and that. This has nothing to do. Ahetuki apratya. This of bhakti or devotional service has nothing to do with materials. In any condition of life, anywhere, one can practice. Prabhupada one time told one of his disciple Guru Das, there used to be a lady, a hunchback. She was, every morning, she would take a bucket of Yamuna every single day, even in the winter, where it's a little cold in Vrindavan, for those who have been there. She would go there, take this bucket, take her bath, and come back and bring up Damodar deities. And Guru Das asked, and he explained how she was doing this service. This crooked person, he was walking with a stick. I mean, you could tell he was in a lot of pain. He used to steal my mail. He tried to steal my mail when I was living as a result. And the future is very dark for this person. The future is very dark. So our future can be very bright. The instructions of Srila Prabhupada. Regardless of where we are, whatever. One devotee called me and asked me, what about this group? That you're asking the wrong person. I says, I'm not in a position, that group, that devotee, this devotee. I said, there are Maharaj, his assistant Chitragupta, and Srila Prabhupada, teacher of any person who has done any service. That's his choice. That is the same presence. There was one devotee, I believe he took initiation from Prabhupada, got his beads from Prabhupada. He was a very nice devotee, very fixed up devotee, very knowledgeable devotee. There's a lot of devotees who only saw Prabhupada washing his devotee questions, although it is described in a Hari Bhakti Vilas that this is what one is supposed to. The Guru lived with the disciple, so the devotees didn't get that chance to be directly, personally, physically with Prabhupada. Association has got to be understood in proper context. Prabhupada said, I shall never die. I shall live from my books, and you posing, posturing, and pretending. Along with this, some way or other, get one of Prabhupada's original books and study, read, just like Krishna. Prabhupada used to often say, Krishna consciousness is simple for the simple-minded. And Krishna, Hare
Krishna sensible, where you give up independence, free will. Say this famous devotional service, and then follow in the footsteps. And by following in the footsteps of the gopis and her platform, not the material. I believe it's worth about $78. We're operating these, because everything has a price. Service and his dedication to his spiritual master, something special in Prabhupada, and told him he was successful in spreading Krishna consciousness. This should be carefully presented to the Rasa Leela. Raj came to Toronto. Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu. I've told this story. And what happened was we were there, symptoms of ecstasy to the imitating, posturing, posing, pretending to be Jesus, and listening to our godbrothers speak. And some followers started in the terms respectful obeisances to my spiritual master.
Came back, and Prabhupada saw his devotee, picked up a brick from the full day and a half of Prabhupada challenging this whole artificial jump. Prabhupada says, don't. Very important point. In Adi Leela, attitude of Rādhārāṇī senses. From such utterance to be known that the attitude of...
We have guests that are going to speak. Reference, because we had the question.
Totally crazy.
Final chapter, Lord Brahma stealing the cowherd boys and the calves. Such a wonderful chapter there. We simply have to relish Srila Prabhupada's purports. We can't ourselves delve into those pastimes, just like we're saying. We cannot, with the conditioned mind, understand the absolute nature. But simply by hearing Srila Prabhupada's words, the purification actually starts to take place. Prabhupada, quite often he used the word, we have to revive or awaken our dormant love for Krishna. Dormant love for Krishna. So we think of that word dormant. Dormant means that it's already there, but it's asleep. So we have to awaken that dormant love for Krishna. And just from these beautiful verses, also explaining the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, we can see that Krishna is actually the supreme enjoyer. Krishna is simply there for enjoyment, his own enjoyment. Anandamaya Bhyasat. Krishna is supremely enjoying. We're trying to enjoy in the material world. That's our reflection, because we're part and parcel of Krishna. tiny infinitesimal jivas, we have the propensity as well. Prabhupada said we also have that propensity for enjoyment, but we're trying to satisfy it in the material world, and that is impossible. So as soon as we turn to our eternal friend, we have to see, as Prabhupada says, that Krishna is our eternal friend. Prabhupada used to sign his letters, your ever well-wisher. And Krishna is the same. Suridam Sarvabhutanam. Krishna is the ever well-wishing friend of all living entities. Sarvabhutanam, of all living entities. Krishna is even those who are not turning to Krishna. Krishna is still looking after them in the material world. You know? Krishna is supplying for everyone, supplying for the demons, supplying for, but paritranaya sadhanam, he's looking after the devotees. So we can only understand these higher truths by coming under the shelter of the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is the one, as are the Sampradaya-Acharyas, who are in contact with Krishna. They are in contact with Krishna, and they can put us in the proper perspective to understand this transcendental knowledge. So the more we hear from Srila Prabhupada, listen to his classes. I just wanted to mention also, we're talking about a lot of maybe new devotees coming onto these classes and discussions, and study Srila Prabhupada's books. I always like to cross-reference, like I'm listening to a class from Srila Prabhupada or reading something. Prabhupada will make he'll give a quote. So take that quote and go and look and see what it says in the purport. Sometimes they're cross-referencing. So like this, study Srila Prabhupada's books. He used to say that to the book distributors. How many books have you given out, but are you reading the books? So not just reading the books, empty reading, but actually study these books. Learn the proper pronunciation, the Sanskrit pronunciation. Prabhupada said that in all of the books, he said, I've put this pronunciation guide for you. Prabhupada didn't put it there for himself, he put it for us. So learn and study Srila Prabhupada's books. There's a treasure house of love there. And Krishna is the eternal friend, and Prabhupada is introducing us to him. Krishna is seated in the heart. He sees everything that we're doing. Eko bahunam jovadat harti. He's the one. Krishna is the one he's the friend that will never leave us. Whether we've turned to him or not, Krishna is still there waiting for us. So Prabhupada is the one who can introduce us, who is introducing us to Krishna, and we have to follow in his instructions and his example. So thank you very much for the association. Hare Krishna, all glories to Prabhupada.
Haribol, and also further to your point, Prabhu, once you learn the philosophy, it is your responsibility, not you specifically, but everyone, to share it with others. This is how you get your realizations of this philosophy, by working with other people. We're constantly working with other people in these matters, and it is very difficult for people to remove the coverings of illusion that they're in. Very difficult. And I can say that after 55 years of experience. It is not an easy process for people to understand, but we have to constantly work with them with patience, and with ourselves, of course, to get to a level of understanding that we're not the body, but the servant of Krishna. Aprakrita in Montreal, how are you this evening? Mon ami, my friend, could you share your understandings of today's verse? C'est bon. C'est soir.
C'est bon.
I served in Montreal for a year and a half, but I learned very little Francais, unfortunately. Prabhu, please share your realization this evening.
you know, I don't know. Yeah, I don't feel so good. You know, I'm sick a little bit. You know, and it's not
Oh,
good to talk. You know.
that's
Really,
okay. But it's
okay.
good to see you, and thank you very much
Okay. Thank you.
for
Thank
being
you.
a part of the class. And you're always a joy to have your
Thank you very much. Thank you
association
very
of a
much. Thank
surrendered
you.
soul.
Thank you.
That's all that
Thank you.
matters. And Yaśodā, maybe you could give a last comment before and mention about the program upcoming in Sacramento for Govardhan Puja this Sunday.
Yes, we're going to have a program on Sunday. That'll be at November 12th. I'm going there on November 11th. Giri Govardhan is going to travel from Twain Harte to the Central Valley to go to South Sacramento at Bhakti Ram's place. And we're going to have a very nice program. We're going to have a beautiful kirtan, reading from the Krishna book and Abhishek. And I believe that Bhakti Ram has arranged for some kind of a Samkirtan afterwards at some local temple or something. So we'll look forward to that. It'll be very interesting and very, very nice. Just the other day I was reading, a lot of Hindus will be observing Diwali, or in Sanskrit it's called Deepavali. And Prabhupada explains in the Srimad Bhagavatam that the word Deepavali was commented upon by Vishwanath Chakravarti, that this is the day that Krishna broke the pot, that his mother Yasoda was cooking in the kitchen and Krishna broke some pot and she chased him and she bound him with ropes on that day. The Damodar Leela technically was on that day of Deepavali. Now, I think the Hindus observe it either Monday or Tuesday, whenever that is. But we're going to be combining Deepavali and Govardhan Puja for practical purpose on Sunday, although according to the Mayapur calendar, it's Tuesday, November 14th. So we beg the forgiveness of anybody if we're not perfectly accurate. But the last time we tried to do a program during the week, it's a little difficult for most people in a big city like Sacramento to come around. So we're going to be observing that. Program is going to be live. We're going to be having the program. It's going to be televised in the morning of the Sunday between, I believe, between 10 a.m. California time, 1 o'clock Eastern time, for a few hours. So we request everybody to join with us, participate. And I got 2 Govardhan Chilas here. And they'll be coming with me along with Krishna Kaliya. One of these Govardhan Chilas was personally given to me by Srila Prabhupada in 1976. What happened is that one Gurukul child, along with his mother, they went to Govardhan Hill, and the child somewhere or other got a small Shila from Govardhan Hill, and he was not keeping it properly. I don't know if he was playing with it with his hands or whatever. The teachers took it away from him. They gave it to me. I went to Srila Prabhupada and asked Srila Prabhupada, what should I do with this? And Prabhupada took it and he was looking at it, smiling, laughing. He says, okay, you take care of it. And I asked Prabhupada, oh, does that mean I can do the Shodasha Puja? Oh, no, you don't do that. I says 5 minutes, 3 minutes. You just clean him with a cloth. You offer some incense and a lamp. If you have time, you make sandalwood, offer some flowers, offer some prayers. That's good enough. For you, simple. I want you to simple most of the time for preaching. So I still have that little Shila with me. Every day I do the puja and recite prayers and try to follow Srila Prabhupada's instructions, as fallen as nonsense as I may be. But it's a very, very inspiring to have that Shaligrat, that Govardhan Shila in the house. And I got another one. In 1993, I went to Govardhan Hill with Guru Kripa and Bhaktidas. Of course, Guru Kripa always famous for his enthusiastic attitude. He bows down and all of a sudden he has a big Shaligram Shila. Here, this is for you. I was like, whoa. Because there is an injunction in Prabhupada's books that we should not take Shilas from the hill. So the Shila fell right into my hand. I put it in my bead bag. And when I came back to Vrindavan, got it all cleaned up, and somewhere or other, I've been worshiping it ever since. I take it as Krishna's mercy. I'm a very nonsensical fallen soul, and Krishna was very kind, especially with the little one that was touched by Prabhupada. Every time I do the worship, I remember that scene with Prabhupada looking at the Sheela and laughing, smiling. Then he went, "Oh, here it is. It's for you." I was like, "Whoa, okay." So this is the mercy. Well, there's an interesting prayer in the Caitanya-caritāmṛta that when Lord Chaitanya went to Govardhan Hill, he prayed to Govardhan, that may the left hand of Lord Krishna, who lifted Govardhan Hill as if it was a toy, give his blessings to you. It's a very, very sweet prayer in Sanskrit. And there's a picture in the Caitanya-caritāmṛta of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embracing a big Govardhan rock there. So it's very, very, very special. We know that Govardhan Leela is very special for the devotees. It's related directly to the Damodar Leela of Krishna, being chased by Mother Yaśodā, and she put a rope around him and everything. So it's a very special time of the year with the Damodar Ashtakam and everything. Excellent. Incidentally, I wanted to say, for those people of the different sampradayas who criticize that Rādhārāṇī is not mentioned in the Bhagavatam, well, in the Damodar Ashtakam, there is a verse at the end where the Rādhārāṇī is mentioned in the 8th verse. This was from the Padma Purana, as quoted in the Hari Bhakti Vilas, compiled by Satyavrata Muni, and the name of Rādhārāṇī is directly mentioned there. There's also verses composed by Shankaracharya, the Adi Shankaracharya. He wrote a book called Jagannath Ashtakam, 8 prayers in praise of Lord Jagannath, and he also mentions Radha by name. Also, he wrote a Yamuna Ashtakam, and in 2 of the verses, he mentions also Rādhārāṇī by name. There's a lot of different references in different Puranas, Brahma Vivarta Purana, Vishnu Purana, Padma Purana, all with the glorious name of Rādhārāṇī. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Haribol, we've got one last person, I believe, Venkat, but Prabhu, Bhaktidan, Daniel, you had a question. I recall you had your hand up earlier. Is it still there to be asked?
I am. Thank you for taking my question. I really appreciate what Balaram had just mentioned about Prabhupada and the way he pronounces, excuse me, I'm having a little moment here. But anyway, I'm presently reading the Bhagavatam, and I'm having a hard time reading it because of the Sanskrit, all the Sanskrit. So when I listen to you, Yaśodā, translate and mention, and translate the Sanskrit, it really helps me. I'm starting to kind of grasp it now, how to pronounce the words. But my question to you, Yaśodā, is you mentioned that, that there's been changes to the Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam, that people are making changes in Prabhupada's words. So I want to ask you, why are they making those changes? And, I kind of feel blessed I have early editions of the Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam and Lord Chaitanya's books. So, why are they making these changes is my question.
Well, they will say, the editors, that we're just editing as per Srila Prabhupada's instruction. But the issue is, if we take the issue a little further and we ask them, where did Prabhupada ever say, I'm referring to documented evidence, documented references. Srila Prabhupada said to go back to the manuscript and rewrite the book. For example, the Bhagavad Gita, the 1983 edited version, has something like 4,000 or 5,000 changes. So there's no record of that. And I know they give sometime the example of Prabhupada said planet of the trees, in the Bhagavad Gita, the original 1970. But Prabhupada never made an issue of that. The only 2 document changes that are there in different conversations is when Prabhupada told Hare Krishna that the word cattle raising should be changed to cow protection. And there's another one in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita where Prabhupada discusses the word kshetrajna, or knower of the self and knower of the field. And Prabhupada indicated that he wanted a change to one of these verse translations or purport. These are only 2 documented changes that there is for the changes of Bhagavad Gita. As far as the other book, the general principle is that basically Prabhupada wrote these books, and even wrote in the Bhagavatam, in his first canto of Bhagavatam, that he quoted from the Bhagavatam itself, where he says, even if the verses are irregularly composed, it's still accepted as transcendental literature. I mean, anybody who reads the 1962 version, there's some typos. I don't know if the printer in Delhi or whoever did the typeset, because in those days they did typesetting. They didn't have computers like we have today. But whatever there were their mistakes, they were minimal. There was a couple of typos, but in general, his language is sufficiently clear to understand. But Prabhupada wanted the first canto of the Bhagavatam to be properly edited for presentation to English audience. So he requested Hayagriva, who was a PhD in English at Columbus University in America, a very educated devotee, to take up the task of editing the Bhagavatam, the first canto. So that the editing of Hayagriva was authorized directly by Srila Prabhupada. And Govinda Dasi told the story when Prabhupada was in Hawaii, he was directly supervising the editing of Hayagriva. Now, I know there was some subsequent criticism of Hayagriva because he took something out of the book, Easy Journey to Other Planets, with reference to going to the moon. Well, that can be fixed with 1 or 2 sentences to revert back to the original. But in general, Prabhupada did not want his books to be edited subsequently after the first edition. And I keep saying this all the time. There is a conversation in Prabhupada's garden in 1977 on the 22nd of June. That conversation is available. I'll be short here. And within that conversation, when Prabhupada found out that his books had been subsequently edited after the first edition, Prabhupada made a statement, they cannot change anything with regard to the editors, the GBC, the BBT publishers, whoever was involved. And another thing he said, it says the next printing again should be the original way. You know, to revert back to the original first edition. And I know some people don't like that, they don't accept that, but that was Prabhupada's instruction. So that's basically what we have to live with. And these books are still available to KBI. People can get the original 30 set of Bhagavatams. They can still get the original 1972 Bhagavad Gita, basically. Hare Krishna. I hope it helps.
Can you get them
Well,
online?
Pardon?
Yeah, it's available. It's available. I think there's a Krishna.org with this Madhavisa. He distributes these books, but you have to be careful because a lot of people nowadays are saying original books and they find out later that they're edited versions. So you got to be, there's a 30 volume version available out there. It can be procured.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Daniel. I hope that helped. And Venkat Bhatta, Prabhu in South India. Anything else left on the
Balaram
agenda
Prabhu has
today?
his hand raised. So.
Balaram?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. There was just a really nice quote by Srila Prabhupada. I thought we just finished with. It's from 9.1 in the purport. Prabhupada says, the messages of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are full of potencies, and these potencies can be realized if topics regarding the Supreme Godhead are discussed amongst devotees. This cannot be achieved by the association of mental speculators or academic scholars, for it is realized knowledge. Fabulous words from Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you very much. We'll look forward to seeing everybody on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and on Sunday at 10 a.m. for Bhagavad Gita as it is and Śrīmad Bhagavatam class. And also there'll be a special program, as Yaśodā said, on Sunday afternoon at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m.
It's going to be starting around 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 o'clock Eastern Time.
Okay, so lots of activity this week from the Prabhupada Disciples Association online. And thank everyone. We want to thank everyone for participating and attending these classes. We have over 300 hours now broadcast globally for everyone's benefit. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Join us in the kirtan with Srila Prabhupada chanting.
Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Śrīvāsadi Gaur-bhakta-vrinda Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Śrīvāsadi Gaur-bhakta-vrinda Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Śrīvāsadi Gaur-bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.